Sup?
Oh my god. We are live.
Hey.
Not me, but yeah, that. Okay. Where's the line?
I don't know.
Today's
I
show.
don't think anyone knows.
Fire. Fire. I made fire. God, what is the quality of fire? How does it affect us? Is it who we are? Is it a beautiful campfire as we all gather around?
Is it that internal fire burning inside of everyone?
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. You know? Brings people together. Right?
Yep.
The beauty of it.
Yeah.
That's our energy. That's our why. That's why we do things.
Yeah.
I have a friend that has run a group. One of his favorite, wise men, WHY.
Mhm.
We're driven by our why.
Mhm.
And those fires can warm hearts. They can bring us together. They can build community. They can burn down the world, though.
Right.
Fire is a dangerous tool. Always has been a tool for change. Not just a tool for the betterment of man.
I think most tools have a dangerous side to them, but fire especially, though. We've used it in some interesting ways as humans over the millennia.
And when you start thinking of your energy as that fire and how you direct it, being meaningful, being, you're very fire. That it's what pushes me on when everybody goes, no. I don't know how far to push anymore.
What does that mean?
It's the glue conversation yesterday.
Right.
I don't want to use my fire to burn people.
Right.
I don't want it to be a weapon. And I feel sometimes people dash themselves against my why and then go, see, you burnt me.
Right.
They take me asking questions as if somehow questions can somehow be attacks, and they should never be. They should just be questions.
I think questions can be attacks, but it's hard to. It's not because I've had situations where questions were attacks, or a question was followed by an attack. So the question sometimes comes up as an attack, and it's marked as an attack.
Well, but if you live in a world where you've agreed that anybody can ask anything as long as you have a right to answer. That, God, obviously we're having deeper conversations here.
Yeah.
Is some of that energy decided by the receiver as to how they react?
Yes.
That if we, in the end, can't be responsible for the actions of others, we can only be responsible for how we react. In my head, if I'm not on fire, why do people think I'm supposed to be?
I will say that the power of suggestion does a lot.
Well, okay.
The power,
I have ended up in every way, in every relationship, eventually with somebody telling me the problem is the way I talk.
Okay.
Over and over again. In high school I use big words.
Right.
I use big words. I for the record, I don't speak any differently on air than I do off the air, including all the goofiness, all the rhymes, all the wordplay, all of who I am.
Yes.
Not putting on a show. not holding it back. But consistently across the board, eventually I was accused of manipulation because I could state the facts better than other people. Go, wait a minute. If using logic and the facts is manipulation, sure, paint me that all day.
I don't think of that as manipulation. I would.
This was specific in a business setting.
I know.
I didn't think of it as manipulation either.
Yeah.
Somebody was upset that when I went in and sat down with my employers, the outcome was not the one they had expected.
Right.
I didn't feel it that day either. No, I'm not. And I try not to feel it when people try and force me into that box. As much as people want to hear me, people don't want to hear me. Flat out.
Right.
Because I ask questions.
I'll say that there's such a thing as a loaded question. Not so okay. There's a difference. I've noticed this in that there's a difference in asking, "Are you okay?" and "What's wrong?"
See, I apologize.
I think of there as a difference.
I think of there
as a difference. And the reason I think of there as a difference is what's wrong
suggests something wrong with you.
It suggests that something is wrong.
I apologize. The two are attached to my head. I don't add that much meaning to words as you do. I add a great deal of meaning to words, but at the same time, I'm like, so you're defining how people voice concern in a way that allows that to somehow be intentionally...
To the extent that it feels that once that question is asked, it feels that I have no answer that could return calm.
So, do you feel you've decided that animosity though is outside of you?
It's not an animosity. Well, it's not always true. Well, sometimes when people say what's wrong, there's something wrong. Sometimes when people say what's wrong, there's nothing wrong.
What if they're just concerned about you?
I understand that, and
but you've decided them just reaching out. You've picked some.
No,
you've drawn lines about what the proper way to ask is.
I've not drawn lines about what the proper way to ask is. I said.
Okay, wait a minute. Both of them are means for somebody to inquire as to your well-being. Correct.
Yes.
You've drawn lines as to which things are the proper way to ask you that will not pivot to a fight from you.
I used to have this conversation constantly of what's wrong.
Okay, so
nothing
it's your
is
obsession.
wrong.
It's in your head.
And no, it starts something in me. That specific question.
That's more honest.
That specific question starts something in me.
So you understand it doesn't have anything to do with anybody outside.
Yes,
of
I
you.
understand that, but I would also ask that if I know that specific question starts something in me, I would like it if people didn't ask me that specific question.
Do you understand that this is the first time ever publicly you've been able to mince that out?
Yes, I understand that. I understand that.
We're doing a show.
Yeah.
Called what?
Yes, where's the line?
And what's the original intent?
The original intent is to find the line so we don't keep stepping on them.
And what's the first thing we learned you have to do?
Communicate.
Or you can't hold the other person.
This is my attempt to communicate.
No.
I'm not.
It's beautiful.
I'm not trying to hold anyone accountable.
I'm trying to point it. No,
yeah.
Stop. I'm not doing this for you.
I pinpointed a thing.
Right. Exactly. I'm trying to share how this actually occurs.
Yes.
So we've been at it.
Yes.
We've known each other a year now, ish.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah. Ish.
Ish.
Close enough.
11 and a quarter. Or, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Close enough. By communicating that line, it changes an entire dynamic.
Yes.
That the whole purpose of our idea, the show we were talking about, and part of the reason I'm black and he's white, is that there are generic lines we all kind of know.
Right.
And don't play with enough.
There are also social lines that we don't all know. Yeah.
Beyond that.
Yes.
There are specific perspective lines that we rarely relate and are often angry about.
Yes. we've had this exact conversation several times, where I didn't realize that the question was what set me off, and it's weird. It's a weird thing, because no, it's a weird thing because questions shouldn't set people off. Questions should not set people off.
So if you
at all,
if you start from the beginning and you look at people and you say, "I promise you can ask me anything on one condition,"
right? I have the right to answer.
Right. And if something's so, and in those moments, our fires flare. It's like, all I can picture is the opening to Blade Runner. And every so often you see the flames go up out of the smokestacks. They're burning off propane. And every so often, and that's us.
Yeah.
There's this fire that heats us, that drives us. It's our energy.
Yeah.
But then there are these allergies, these brain triggers, these things that nobody else knows.
I am not very good. I tried really hard like a couple months ago to like figure out what my triggers were, and I've never been able to identify any.
Well, here's the funny thing. I have a backdoor way of figuring it out.
What's that?
Identify your tells. So what you go looking for is your reactions, the moments, the flares.
Right.
Now I'm picturing the sun with sun flares. But anyways.
Right.
You know, because that's you. You're that ball of fire.
Right.
It makes you the amazing musician you are. It gives you the amazing heart and support and love. It drives you, and it's raw energy, man. That shit burns.
Yeah.
I mean, in a heartbeat. Look, you can like, bam! World on fire.
Oh, it's a burning gift.
I got all kinds. I've hit us with fires today. I don't know if you caught it. Every
fire. I caught it. I caught some of them.
And then it's out of control, and you burn down everything. See, that's the problem, because, man, if you can't notice the flares, so you identify where your I don't know. You know what? Fuck this metaphor. But you'll burn down the world.
Yeah.
And be sure you're right.
Yeah. It's every time we have that conversation, I'm pretty sure that I was fine walking into that conversation. But I don't exactly know where the point of me not being fine occurred.
Well,
you know, like I don't exactly know where that point is. I know that it happened somewhere in the conversation.
It's been a stressful couple weeks.
I'm like, yeah, we've been dealing with some things outside of this that are stressful.
Well, and trying to define, as yesterday's show found, where that line is. Where is I agreed to be a support role over here because this is a primary role.
Yes.
Okay, man, that's feeling like a primary role.
Right.
And like, okay, now it's a weight I've chosen to carry.
Right.
I talk about weights a lot. I apologize. I am attached to things. I'm very attached to the friggin' studio and trying to give voice to people.
Right.
I'm very opposed to the idea of voices being shut down.
Right.
So that when I'm in a situation where people are like, well, as long as we shut that voice.
Right.
I'm out. It's hard to not react to that. It's hard to not go, wait a minute. I'm here and I can do 10 questions with anybody. And find that there are things that we relate on, or ways they see things that are, because we're all trying to describe the same damn thing. Hello,
we're all trying to figure it out.
Why am I not attached to any faith? Because people fight over that. Why don't I belong to a political party? Because people fight over that. Draw me some lines. Someone is fighting on the other side of it.
I think even if
that's
people,
my fire, bitches.
I think even if people are fighting over something, I don't have to choose to engage in that fight. For example, we often talk about the producer and artist fight, or the producer and rapper fight, or whatever or whatnot, right? And
we do get into this a lot.
We do.
Yesterday I was claiming producers took a great deal more skill than writing lyrics. I don't really feel that way. I feel like musicians are all equal. But man, we were down in the like the puppies upstairs are hilarious. Maybe we're being affected by puppy energy. Maybe that's what's wrong.
Maybe that's what's going on.
There's an overwhelming puppy energy in the house. Dun dun dun.
But yeah, like every time a line comes up, I have a hard time picking a side. I've always been that way. Like, for example, I give you another example. For some reason, I've always been of the opinion that the financial aims of each political party have a grain of truth to them.
Oh, absolutely.
For example, we need to take care of each other.
Absolutely.
But also, we need to make sure people can move up a little bit, you know? Like, they're both of value to me. You know, so I can't even pick a side with that.
Well, it's hard for me. That's always been the lie.
Right. Is that
you divide everybody into two camps and somehow that's meaningful?
Right.
The argument relative to these forms of government is that a two-party system does not work, and that's what everybody in the world feels about us.
I don't think that's so much true anymore.
Okay, so imagine a minute.
What's up?
So if you have like 5 parties that don't agree on everything, but agree on, like, some of these agree with this one or that one, or you know what? So there's a mix, like, you know, real humans and all that.
Right.
What happens though is they have to work with each other to get anything done, because to get to a majority, you need 2 or 3 parties to go along with something.
I've also heard people say that we need a runoff system with our
you know what? My argument is
or something.
So I'm gonna push a movie here that I think everybody should see, and that's Brewster's Millions.
Good movie.
With Richard Pryor.
Good movie.
I go beyond the fact of even having a runoff and argue that we should be allowed a none of the above.
Yeah.
And if in any particular election none of the above wins, they have to produce new candidates, and because nobody wants those two, guess what? They've got to come up with 2 new ones.
That actually.
And 90 days from now, we have another election.
Yeah, that actually doesn't sound too terrible. I'll be honest.
I would like to thank Richard Pryor. I'd like to thank Peoria, East Peoria, Caterpillar.
Would you like to thank Fires? Huh? Would you like to thank Fires?
Fires. John Candy.
Pryor had a fire.
I want to give John Candy credit for this as well.
John Candy
played a great catcher in that movie. I'm telling you, people, Brewster's Millions if you want to understand politics.
Yeah.
I have a few of them on, like, so my election night classics for getting your fire going about politics. Don't watch whatever they're doing on TV. That's all bullshit and games. It doesn't really matter. I'm not saying it doesn't matter at all, but that's like trying to blame it all on a president that's there for 4 years instead of looking at people that were there for 30.
Yeah.
Come on. The whole point is you shoot at the figurehead so that we can get our machinations going. Come on. Anyways. That in the end, watch Brewster's Millions. I think is Man of the Year the one where Robin Williams becomes president?
I don't know.
And then there's one where Chris Rock gets to be president.
Really?
Yeah, so those are the 3 I watch.
That sounds awesome.
With Bernie Mac playing his brother.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And really, it just demystifies the system, if you will. Anyways. Fires are powerful.
They are.
They really, really are.
Yeah.
How you use yours is meaningful.
Yeah.
The wild thing is, it seems like when we share our fires, they burn even brighter than greater than the sum of their components. Division, multiplication. Let's get into the fights we've had this week.
Oh my gosh. Get into those.
We did have a math fight. It was fun.
We had a math fight. It was pretty interesting.
That's so fun. Don't make me get out the damn schoolhouse rock and teach you. Do you know what I did find?
I was so annoyed when you said that.
Keep talking. Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll
right
keep
back.
talking.
Say something.
Fires, you know. Fires are pretty fire, you know. I'm sitting here looking at Schoolhouse Rock's pretty awesome.
When was the last time you vamped? You need more vamping.
I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, the complete Schoolhouse Rock.
Wait, really? Oh shoot!
We
There's
will
a
put
book.
This, absolutely.
I didn't know there was a book.
I have the official guide to Schoolhouse
The
Rock.
guide to Schoolhouse
Do the
Rock.
circulation.
Do the
The
circulation.
Great American Melting Pot. It's got all the words.
Oh shoot! So it's got the lyrics in it.
Oh yeah,
and
it's
stuff?
got the lyrics, pronouns, unpack your adjectives. Got home from camping last spring. Saw people, places, and things. We barely had arrived. Friends asked us to describe the people, places, and every last thing. So we unpacked our adjectives.
Adjectives.
I unpacked frustrating first. No, right. Anyways, I believe there's wisdom everywhere.
Yeah.
I find sometimes lately that I end up in situations where I can see amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
Even from the bad situation. That I had to get to the point where I could accept that bad situations were probably good situations, and good situations probably bite you in the ass.
Yeah. I have a very doom and gloom perspective.
Well,
on
but the doom and gloom
those.
is awesome because do you know what? The sun'll come up tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow.
Yeah, but I would say
Smithers!
I would
Smithers! Turn off the radio, the reactor. Smithers, I need you now.
I would say it really sucks when you're in that moment though. Like for me, at least. Like when all you're used to is the shoe dropping. It can really suck when you see the shoe about to drop or when you see the
because in your head,
situation
that's
about
what you
to
see.
take. That's what you see, and that's it.
And your fire goes, not again.
Yup.
But the problem is it's not that person standing in front of you.
Yes. It's not that situation. It's
We
not
all-
necessarily the same thing.
We all suffer from a form of PTSD. It's called perspective.
Mm.
I know, scary when you think about it. But the reality is your perspective is built on the things in your life that have caused you harm.
Right.
And how to provide protection. Whether or not valid, it's reactive.
Right.
So your fire is set up to go, bam, I need protection.
Right.
Based on previous situations. We call that perspective.
Right.
It's where all of the lines we don't like come from. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm anti-line altogether these days, to be honest.
You kind of sound like
I really don't need any lines anywhere. But if I could get some rotten eggs, I love them. I'll just eat those, Wilbur.
Listen, I'm not smart. You sound like Andy Dick to me, and it was hilarious.
That I don't like the lines anymore.
Right.
I don't like this person's of that and this person's of this, because that's not true. Guess what? They're both people.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree to that, but you're right. They have different perspectives, and oh God, I want to see them. Not to hit me, not to hit them, but because
Mm-hmm.
I know that my fire can't light it all.
Right.
I might be able to set things on fire, but I do know that if we come together, our perspectives are frigging brilliant. I don't know. I'm trying to hold on to the fire thing, people, but what can I say? I'm not attached to many things these days.
It's hard to hold on to something that burns you. You know.
Oof. Man, that's powerful when you think about it.
What do you mean?
It's hard to hold on to something that burns you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what relationships are kind of like, and we're all in a relationship with everybody.
Shoot, man! When I went camping, we had these tiny sticks and these huge marshmallows. So we had to put the stick through the marshmallow. Then we had to hold it by the fire, hands burning and all. Just
Why?
Well, no, eventually somebody grabbed an actual stick and was like, I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna use a stick. I'm good. I'm gonna use a longer stick. Well, what happened was...
These guys have gone camping before?
Yes. It's okay. Sometimes things happen. I wasn't really that mad. I was just happy that there was marshmallows
For $2 you could buy long sticks. They sell them at Walmart. They get a pack of a dozen of them.
Well, no, it was funny. It was funny because we had a long.
We cooked hot dogs, but we had a whole hot dog in our hand.
We had a long conversation. And then he was like, "Are you ready to burn your hands?" And it was like, everybody was like, "What? What did he just say? What did he just say?"
And never buy the big marshmallows. The big marshmallows are a lie.
What do you mean?
Always buy the regular size marshmallows because they cook best. They're the right size, surface to. The problem with the big marshmallows is the amount of time you take to melt that amount relative to surface area.
I got one of them to burn.
Well,
I had about like 3 or 4, and I got one of them to burn.
The trick is, if you use a standard size marshmallow, they are also the right size to squish on graham crackers, and chocolate to make s'mores.
Right.
But if you want to cheat on the s'mores, what you do is you get the Elfin Magic fudge stripes because they've got solid fudge on one side and on the other. You smush like this. No additional chocolate required. The chocolate melts. You eat it.
The chocolate melts?
That's the whole point of a s'more, dude.
Oh, snap. Never mind. I thought for a split second I thought you meant like it melted away. And I was like, "What? That doesn't make sense. Come on. How can it melt away?"
You've made s'mores here.
Have I? I think I did one time. Yeah.
We made s'mores here so many times it's funny. And you're like,
I don't remember having s'mores since like last winter. Not winter, fall.
I love fire.
Uh-huh.
There's a reason why there's a fire pit out back, and there's a chimenea, and there's another fire. That's the one off to the side that goes up like this off in the corner by the hammock. Do you know what I'm talking about at all? Not in the least.
I think maybe.
Everybody else out there knows what a chimenea is because chimeneas are chimeneas, and
I've never heard this word before in my life. So
it's a southwestern word. Southwestern United States is where the chimeneas come from, I think. Okay. I don't know. It's like a small fire thing made out of ceramic.
In the
and it goes up.
Southwestern United States, you find
you
find several chimeneas in their natural habitat.
Dear God, please help me. If you see me blinking, that means send help.
I want to go home.
No. Here's my question.
What's your question?
How do you make it so your fire is the type people gather around instead of, and how do you draw the line between you can put so much of your energy out there it saps you?
I mean, you burn steadily. You don't burn too hot. You don't burn too dim. You find a balance and you try and maintain that balance as much as you possibly can. That's the best you
what does
can
that
ask
mean,
for.
Though? What does that even mean?
What does that even mean?
What does that even mean? So you're in the middle of blowing up at people.
Right. That's obviously not the response because you're gonna burn everybody. Like fire's too powerful.
What about the problem is in that moment the burning everybody feels like what you want to do. I don't.
Right.
I don't fit in because I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not running around going, how do we burn this down?
I
often
often find my conscience takes over when I start burning people. And it stops me from it kind of like stops me from doing that. And sometimes it takes a while to kick in, but it's literally you have to find a balance of believing in yourself and believing in others.
Well, here's where the issue comes in.
Where's the issue come in?
I believe in kind of this whole equanimity thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that I know that a great deal of my reality is actually projected
mm-hmm.
perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So I judge that reality on not. So I try to examine and evaluate my world through the perspectives around me with the addition of mine equally. Now, does that always... So I'm trying to always soak it in. In an attempt to live compassionately in my world. I think about that, like as a conscious thought. I don't get it right all the... That does... Oh my God, he gets it right all the... No.
Right.
Aware doesn't mean right all the time. Present doesn't mean right all the time. Doesn't
I get
mean...
what you're saying.
But actively trying.
Yes.
As opposed to not paying attention to.
There's certain times when it's impossible for me to pay attention. There are certain times where it's impossible for me not to pay attention.
When the puppies are licking my toes.
There's certain times when it's impossible for me not to pay attention. So I try to find...
Okay, wait a minute. So you bait the two things?
Yes, both of them.
Right. I get you.
What?
How do you define that?
How do I define that?
How does that happen, and who decides?
Traditionally, it's impossible for me to pay attention when I feel that I'm in danger or that I'm hurt. It doesn't always mean that I actually am in danger or that I actually am being hurt.
But you've just described an actual response that all humans have, right?
Yes. Okay. I know. That's when it's impossible for me to pay attention.
Who's in control of
that?
The
way that I step out of that is to be more present. When I am more present in the situation, if I am not being hurt or if I am not being harmed, it's gonna fizzle out.
So you have a brain allergy?
Yes.
How do you... this is an honest question. So what are your... who's
Presence.
In control of that?
Presence is the best guard I have against bad situations and
so
things that I've made in my head.
being present is the best guard you have against not being present?
Yes.
I'm not...
The times when it...
You have to admit there's a circle there somewhere.
Yes. The best answer I got... The best answer I got is that if I feel like I'm getting burned and I'm not actually getting burned, I gotta start to feel the sensation that my hand is okay.
Yeah, I get that.
It has to calm a little bit, and it has to...
We are reactive by nature in our own protection.
Yes.
This is by design. This is evolutionary. This is
actually
elementary.
Touching the fire and burning those marshmallows taught me that in a certain way, because it was like, well, I had to hold it as close as I could, and then I held, like, the longer I held it there, the more I noticed, okay, my hand is not burning.
Not yet, yeah.
But it feels hot.
You can feel the heat.
I can feel it. And I had to be present in that I had to know when it was getting to be too much so that I could back away.
So the funniest is, so for years I ran a pizza shop. I had less hair on my forearms because I could pep a pizza in a 650 degree oven and did it multiple times. I was good enough that I can go like this.
Right.
So pizza goes in, it gets screwed up.
Guarantee you I would not be able to do that. I'm bumping shit.
The funny thing is, you get to the point where what's happened though is you start building up more dead skin on the tip.
Yeah.
Like your hand is reactive to that.
Yes.
It's like somebody noticed just the other day that young black men get tan.
Yes. No, I always knew that.
I know, but it's funny. You have a little line, of lighter skinned guy right at the hairline.
It's the scalp. The scalp is always lighter. If I was to shave right now,
for the record,
I'd have
always
like
been aware
a
of this.
complete
The best was that moment
light.
though.
I'd have a complete light spot just where my hair used to be.
Oh, my beard will do that.
Really?
Oh yeah, it might be right now. Not overly so though, but that if I've let it grow out for a minute and it's summer and then you shave it off, you've got a big like white pale. You got a pale beard.
You got a pale beard.
Well, because especially if you've been out working in the sun.
Beard.
Yes, a negative. Dude, your beard is like so negative. man, I love you, bro. And fire is a brutal thing.
Yeah.
And we work in the same space, and our fires are hot. There's a reason why we've gotten done as much as we've gotten done so far.
Fire.
I'm not patting us on the back. You know what? I don't have time for that. We have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we're moving into August.
We're moving into August.
August is a big month.
Yep.
We've got a Twitch stream that has to start in the beginning of August somehow.
Yep.
Then somebody's going
to... It's got to start.
We're going to figure out a way to get a satellite phone to Ross so somehow he can do shows from a camp. Well, because you know what? If he just plugs into a USB or uses Wi-Fi, there's got to be a computer there somewhere. I'm telling you, we got to figure out a way.
I'm gonna have to.
We need 3 days of Where's the Line. That's all I need.
I'm gonna have to give. We're gonna have to plan out a day where I'll just show you the basics of how this board works.
We have to figure. Yes,
yeah.
I'm so fuck.
I know.
That's why we're only doing 3 shows that week.
I didn't have anyone to show me how it worked. I had the internet.
Well, no, that's We've
actually technically I still had someone.
No,
the internet
but
is someone.
Don't ever think I don't value the things you know, because you know so many things I do not.
Right. I think you know a lot of things that I don't know as well.
I try to meet everyone in my life like a teacher. It's hardest with the people closest to me.
Right.
I'm very aware of that.
Right.
But at the same time, I think of all the living things around me as my gurus, my teachers. But that's not the point of where I was going.
That's not the point.
The point is, so what we're going to do...
What we're going to do is...
We're going to move into August on what will be considered by us a short hiatus, only putting out 3 shows a week.
Right.
Still surpasses, because we will be building the promotions around our upcoming Labor Day midnight to midnight show.
Right.
You know, the 2 weeks prior to that show, we're going to work on getting some people back in from our best of 10 queue. So there's not a best of. We have a lot of everybody we want to talk to. But the idea being, okay, let's pull in some people, some reschedules during that time period, some people to catch up with.
Right.
And then I can't wait for Memorial Day.
Yup.
I really am jazzed for 24 hours of giving it to the peeps. Well, yeah. I think of where we were. Actually, it'll be... Did I say Memorial Day that time instead of Labor Day?
Labor Day, yeah.
It is Labor Day we're going to. But I think of our Memorial Day show as like this huge admission of who we are. That we don't think we can do it all alone.
I think of it as we pushed ourselves a lot that day.
Well,
we really pushed ourselves, and we really made an effort to let people help us a little bit.
Well, and I think there was an evolution in bringing people into the story.
Yes.
Thus adding the plural stories to the project.
Right.
So that I feel so much more in the world personally. Mm-hmm. I feel amazed by where we are at on the musical shows.
Right. I'm
looking for, forward. I like that you begin to see us more as multidimensional.
Right.
That we started in as, and everybody would go, oh, so you're doing a podcast? No. No, we are not doing a podcast. We are building a studio.
Yeah.
Okay, but what you're...
I feel
the part
so
you can
much...
see is a podcast.
I think it's because of my weird rule of 3s, but I feel so cool when I'm able to say we do music, podcasts, and interviews. I feel like, for some reason, that's like the perfect trifecta where I'm like, yeah, I'm doing something different.
We're trying to do something different.
Yeah.
And part of that is we're also trying to recognize that self-care matters, and we're not good at that. And since January 10th of this year, others may think otherwise, we have been pushing hard.
Yes.
Even in the moments where what you saw was a singular thing, 5 days a week, us doing this show,
yeah,
we were working on finding our voice musically, quietly.
Mm-hmm.
It was a struggle to find where our voice was and how to put it out.
Right.
Now the music is so much a part of who we are.
Yeah, it is.
We're going today to, among other things, go look at a swing set I need to take down. But we're going to go over to Jay Horns' studio just because I'm not looking to do an interview. I'm looking to just...
Talk.
Yeah, I don't know how long that means.
Whatever it is we end up doing.
The reason I went for Wednesday and 6 was because on Wednesdays, my grandson goes over to his
aunts. Yeah.
To his aunts. Yeah. And that way I knew I wasn't feeling. I was trying to build in space. Rushed. I wanted us to feel like what we could do is just go enjoy that space.
Right.
Not with any intent, not with any desire, not with any design.
Right.
I
totally get it.
You know what, man? In a world of picking and choosing, I pick the world. That's who I pick.
That's meaningful.
You know, those of you who haven't read my book, there's a book, Zen and the Art of Madness. And, you know, there's a lot of discussion of that position.
What do you mean?
Pick amongst the things you care about. And my life is full of picking amongst things I care about. My dad looking at me and going, save the child you can. You know, not having interactions with other. It's over and over again.
Right, it's a constant theme.
It's Sophie's Choice, and I don't believe in it. I don't believe in the lines. Who do you love more? No, I love.
Right.
You know, but it's not the same. I love everybody differently, because how could you love any two people the same? That doesn't make sense to me. I endlessly ended up in that argument, that fight. How do you love this person if you love me? Well, how could I possibly not love? I don't understand.
Right.
How is there anything but love? That's my fire. This is my prayer. I want the suffering to end. I'm tired of people picking. Because that's not... It just hurts every time. I don't want to hurt people. I want to love people. I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to buy anything. I just want to give.
Right.
But the one thing I know for sure is that what you're doing here matters.
What we're doing here matters.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm going next. I just like to...
Yeah.
I'm not good at...
The me part?
Because it doesn't matter. If I say you, that's the same as saying me.
Right.
What's the difference with anybody? What if we work together? What if instead of, burning the place down, what if we made fire?
Yeah.
A signal. Find me. Meet my friends. I love you guys.
Love you guys.
We're going to do this again tomorrow.
Yep.
You're thinking they can see you. They're looking at Tom Hanks.
Oh, dang it. Dag nabbit.